Strategy of Preeminence. Welcome to another episode of Mastermind Bites. Hi, my name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock the potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Mastermind Bites, I get to feature another incredible individual. And the reason why I have this show is because over the last few years, I've been very, very fortunate and very, very lucky, been very, very honored to meet some amazing individuals, some celebrities, athletes, CEOs, some masters of their skill sets, and got to learn from them, hear them speak, be in the same room as them, and just hear their stories. Taking those lessons learned and applying it to my daily life and also my business life have been absolutely beneficial. And I just want to share some of those lessons with you. Today, I get to feature the legendary, the master marketer, Mr. Jay Abraham. In fact, he is so legendary that anybody within the business realm who has any issues with regards to business or marketing, they'll go to Mr. Jay Abraham right away because they know he knows his stuff. In fact, he knows his stuff so well that he has been very successful in over 500 different industries when it comes to marketing, branding, and also business growth. So when it comes to that mindset, it's absolutely incredible to be able to meet him because his mind works so fast. I mean, the first time I listened to him speak, I was literally drinking water from a fire hose because there was so much great information there. I listened to his stuff over and over again. I repeated went through my notes over and over again because he works so fast that he's connecting dots that you won't even get to until 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps down the line, and he's already there. So it's absolutely incredible to hear him speak because you're able to just grasp the type of thought process he goes and how his mind works, and it's absolutely incredible. Now, he is absolutely passionate when it comes to the preeminence of strategy of preeminence. And what exactly is that? Well, that's how do you create that trust, that authority, the relevancy, and that respect so that makes you the only viable option for your clients and future clients and prospects in that marketplace. Basically, how do you make sure that you become the first person that people think of when it comes to that problem? How do we make sure that you are the first person that people come to when they want to find that advice or that strategy or that tip? How do you make you the only viable option for everybody else to go to? Well, that has to do with the strategy of preeminence. And he has a lot of great tips and advice with regards to the preeminence. There's already about 20 to 30 of them, but I'm gonna pick out the top 8 of them that I thought was very, very important and that we can put into our daily lives right away. Number 1 is consistency. We have to be consistent with everything that we do when it comes to our mindset, our culture, our message, our marketing, and also our conduct, our branding. Everything has to be consistent because you don't want to confuse your future clients. You don't want to confuse your prospects. You have to be consistent. So if you're a person who wants to add value all the time, then you have to be consistently adding value in everything that you do, in all messages that you put out there. If you're wanting to become that person of an expert in accounting, then you have to be consistent throughout everything else. Your mindset has to be very consistent with all that stuff as well. So number 1 is that consistency, and it needs to cover all your bases. Number 2, everything that you do is with the responsibility of helping your client, your marketplace, see what they need to be doing, okay? Your job is to make sure that you're helping your clients. Your job, your only responsibility is to make sure that your marketplace is given that chance to do what they need to do, is given that option to get what they need to succeed. And therefore, that is the only thing you need to be thinking about. Always thinking about how am I going to be able to help them become better? How am I going to be able to make them become more efficient, become faster in what they need to do? Everything has to do with growth. And if you're always thinking about how are you the person that's going to make them grow better and become more successful, and that is your only responsibility. Number 3, is you have to decide not to be mediocre. You have to decide that you're not always reacting. Sometimes you have to be the person to be proactive. You have to be that person who leads. You have to become that leader for your client. Sometimes you have to tell them, hey, that's not the best option to you. Or sometimes you have to tell them, this is something you have to get. but you have to be that leader. You have to be able to convey that message, verbalize exactly what they need, what they don't need, what they need to achieve, what they need to be taking away or reducing within their lives or in their business. You have to be that leader, and you can't set yourself up as that person who, oh, you could do whatever you want. Because if you say, oh, you can do whatever you want, you're no longer that leader within that relationship. So when it comes to being a person of consulting and client, well, you want to be that leader to them. They want that person to be able to guide them along. So therefore, you need to elevate yourself and set yourself up as that leader to your client. And your client wants that leadership because they are trusting you to be able to see them as somebody that you are going to be able to help and also elevate to success. So you have to set yourself up higher and not be mediocre. Number 4 is a series of little things. You have to ask great questions. You have to learn how to listen very, very actively. You have to be interested, and then also you have to understand. So the thing is, a lot of people don't understand how to ask great questions. When you ask great questions, you get to hear great answers. And the better answers you get, the more understanding you get. And the thing is, sometimes if you want to be interesting to your client, to your prospects, you first have to be interested in what your client or what your prospects are actually saying to you. So if you're interested, then you get to listen better. You get to understand better. And the thing is, when you can understand better, you can see life from their standpoint. You can understand life from where they're coming from. So once you're able to do that, you're starting off from their standpoint and not from your standpoint. And when you can do that, you can relate better. And once you're able to relate better, you could have better empathy. You can have better recognition of what they're feeling. And once you have that, you can build that rapport. You can build that trust. So asking good questions, followed by listening very actively. Also being interested in what they're saying so that you are interesting. And then finally, you have to be able to understand. So that's step number 4. Point number 5 is the difference between clients and customers. If you look up, customers is basically one transaction at a time. And you don't want that, because one transaction at a time basically means one number at a time. And when you're treating your clientele like customers, then you're basically treating them as a number. And people don't want to be treated as a number. They want you to know them. They want you to respect them. They want you to recognize that they are a person. So therefore, treating them like a customer is not the way to go. Treating them like a client is absolutely the only way that you can be able to treat your clients, because basically there's a long-term effect there. There's a lifelong relationship there. Basically, you're telling them that you have care and that you have their best interests in mind for the long period of time, and that their well-being is in your thoughts, and that you want to build that relationship and have that client relationship throughout the rest of their lives. And that is how you build a successful company, when you start treating your prospects, your customers like clients, and remove the word customers from your vocabulary. Number 6, it is, what is it that they really, really want? And that comes back to that asking those questions. When you ask great questions, you find out what they really want. But more importantly, what is it that they want really? Okay, when I ask that, it sounds a little bit weird, but people don't actually know what they really want until you verbalize it to them. And you have to put it in those words so that they understand it and they go, wow, you know exactly what I want. So for instance, and some of the examples that Jay Abraham gave was, when you go buy a drill, do you really want to have a drill, or do you want that hole in the wall? Well, it's that hole in the wall. But if you go another step further, it's because you want to have that picture hanging on the wall. If you go a little bit further, it's because you want to be able to see your family. You wanted to see the picture of a great landscape so that you can relax and feel comfortable in your home. So it's not just buying a drill, it's buying that comfort. It's buying that recognition of your family. It's buying that familiarity once you put that picture up or you put that scenery up and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just the drill. Similarly, are you just buying a house? Or are you buying that place of fulfillment, that place of relaxation, that place where you can recharge, that place where you can have great happiness with your family? So you're not just buying a house, you're buying all that other stuff. So what is it that they really, really want beyond the actual product, beyond the actual service? What is the results of that service and that product? And once you can verbalize that, put it into a future tense, then you're able to really convey that message so that it shows that you know who they are and what they truly, truly want. So number 6, again, is what do they truly, truly want? And what are you truly, truly providing? Number 7, sometimes you have to be able to explain the dark side. Now, the thing is, when it comes to your services and your products, list out all the things that you hate about it, or all the things, the pain points that people hate about it. And then you find out, what does your product, your service do to mitigate all that stuff? If you're able to convey that into your talk, into your message, then right away, your clientele would be able to tell, wow, this person's thought everything through. In fact, they brought up all the negative stuff that I didn't even come up with, and they've already shown me why it's not a problem or how we can mitigate it. And by showing the dark side, sometimes you're able to build that trust. You're able to build that relationship even more. Again, setting yourself, elevating yourself up as that leader within the relationship. And once you have all those pain points out there, there's nothing more they can say, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about this. But the fact is, you've already listed all those things out, and you're able to really, really care for them because you've already gone through the thought process. So for example, buying a house, moving, what are all the pain points about moving? Well, if all the pain points are putting the packages together, taping the labeling, unpacking, packing, all that stuff is all the pain points, and you're able to bring that up and then talk about how you could make that a family event or make it fun and all that kind of stuff. You're trying to mitigate all those negative feelings already that comes from all the pain points by giving it to them up front so that they're able to see, wow, you thought of everything. And the last one, number 8, is you have to fall in love with your clients. Don't fall in love with your service and your products. Don't fall in love with the act of making money, because once you start falling in love with the making money aspect and your own products and your own services, then you start to lose out on building that relationship, which is loving your customers. If you're able to start loving your customers who are actually your clients, then you're actually building that lifelong relationship with them. You're able to create that avatar that you're able to talk to all the time. You have that picture in your mind. You know them inside and out. You're able to communicate the way they understand. You're able to build that relevancy that they can understand and relate to. And once you are a person who loves human beings and the relationship and the clients, then you're able to really build that rapport. It's just like going out on a date and working with your best friend. You're building that relationship every single day. And when you're able to do that with your clients, then your clients are going to start seeing you as the only viable option, going all the way back to that strategy of preeminence, having that trust, that respect, and making you the only option out there. Now, even if people are difficult to deal with, even if people are annoying, or sometimes you have to have the mindset of loving that client and loving human beings. In fact, start asking those questions. Those people are that way for a reason. If you're able to mitigate that, if you're able to walk your way through and understand why they're feeling that way, why they're talking that way, why they're expressing themselves that way, then you're able to help them out even better and even more effectively. And again, setting yourself up to becoming that person that's the only viable option for them. Because for them, many, many times they've gone through other consultants or other people who have disregarded them as their client because they don't want to work with them anymore. But if you're able to talk them through it, if you're able to come and understand why they're acting the way they're acting, then you become that one person who they are able to work with. So loving human beings, loving your clients, researching, understanding where they're coming from. And when you're putting in all that effort to build that relationship, to understand, that you're able to become that person who is the only viable option. So those are the top 8 points I wanted to really express when it comes to the strategy of preeminence, because I thought those 8 were so very powerful that you could implement into your daily life and also your business life as well. So going back to repeat those 8 strategies or 8 tips. Number 1 is you have to be consistent with regards to your mindset, your culture, your marketing, your branding, your message, your conduct, everything. Consistency. Number two, everything that you do, you have the responsibility to help your client, your marketplace, add value and help them succeed and grow. Number three, it is you have to decide not to be mediocre. You have to elevate yourself and become the leader within the client relationship. Number four, ask good questions, listen actively, and then also be interested and then understand. Once you have those four things in mind, then you're able to build that relationship and you're able to show empathy and build a really, really strong client relationship. Number five, there's a big difference between customer and client. And what's that difference? Lifelong value. Number six, what is it that they really, really want? And what is it that you actually provide for them? The results, not the actual service, not the actual product, but the results. So what is it? Convey that message to them, put it in those words. Number seven, explain the dark side of things. Bring out all the negativity things so that you can debunk them or you can mitigate them and show them that you are in fact the solution to all that stuff that they may be concerned about or that they didn't even think about. And then finally, number eight, you have to fall in love with your clients, not your service, not your product, not making money. Fall in love with your clients and make sure that you have their best interest, their well-being in mind all the time, lifelong. So those are the 8 tips for the strategy of preeminence and some of the great tips and some of the great advice that I learned from Mr. J. Abraham. I absolutely was blown away when I heard all this stuff the first time and I listened to it again and again. And I hope you like this episode, because if you like this episode, go back to watch some of my other mastermind bites. We have a lot of those. And if you like mastermind bites, then make sure to tune in to the Peak Potential Success Show, the Unlocking the Mind Behind Make More Work Less, and also the Make More Mind Bites, that's up every single week. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, your following. And until next time, today is the day to unlock your peak potential. We'll see you later.